Let's head out west now to where things are getting heated along the border. Did you see all the protests this week out there in Marietta, California, where, of course, there were busloads of illegal immigrants who had been flown in from Texas because they they weren't processed in Texas. They got on airplanes. The cost to the taxpayers, astronomical. Put them on airplanes, fly them into California to be processed at this center. But local residents there weren't having any of it, so they stood in front of these buses and they had to be rerouted.
Yeah, literally, it was like a human shield. And this really just paints the picture of how desperate these folks are starting to feel. They're thinking about their bottom line. They're thinking about their wallet. They're also thinking about their safety. With these illegal immigrants coming in, very often comes fears of crime and also disease. We have been assured by the Border Patrol that they are being screened as these illegal immigrants are coming through. But we've had doctors here on the channel, Jesse, who have said, you know what, these are diseases sometimes that they're bringing in that our doctors are not used to seeing. It's things that they simply read about in textbooks and are not used to seeing them here at home. Things like leprosy and scabies.
I mean, I haven't heard about those diseases for quite some time. It's an absolute catastrophe. We want immigration in this country. You want it to be a melting pot. But as Americans, you want to be able to control what's in the pot. You want to be able to control the ingredients, the temperature, and make sure the pot doesn't overflow. That's our right as American citizens. If you have people that are homeless and have all sorts of diseases invading neighborhoods and you aren't even made aware that they're coming, that's a big problem. And if they were sending these kids to the Hamptons, I think there'd be protests there, too.
Well, they're coming today, and the reason that we're talking about this is because another set of buses are expected to be arriving today, and another set of protests set to be unfolding this afternoon there in Marietta, California. And now President Obama we know that he's heading down to Texas for a fundraiser to help out Democrats who are, of course, running for re-election in the fall and also running for a new election in the fall. But Governor Rick Perry and others down there are saying, look, Mr. President, get down here. This situation is only getting worse. Listen to the governor.
Nobody's doing any of these children the slightest favor by delaying a rapid return to their countries of origin, which in many cases is not Mexico. Allowing them to remain here will only encourage the next group of individuals to undertake this very, very dangerous and life-threatening journey. And those who come must be sent back to demonstrate in no uncertain terms that risking your lives on the top of those trains in the ways that they are coming here, it's not worth that.
Yeah, what is the issue here? Of course, they're coming on tops of trains from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, not really coming from Mexico. They're being ferried through Mexico, and it is a humanitarian crisis. We heard Nancy Pelosi last week say that this isn't a crisis, this is an opportunity. So don't expect Democrats anytime soon to get down there and stop the border, cut off the sieve that's coming in. In fact, why not go down there, as Sheila Jackson-Lee said, instead of bringing guns and blocking our borders and putting up a fence, why don't you just bring some lollipops? Listen.
The children should be given the basic coverage of the law that is in existence today that will allow us to treat them in a humane way. These are the most orderly, behaved children who simply want an opportunity to be free from the murderous conditions of which they flee. I took lollipops along with my colleagues into those detention centers where children were. I wasn't armed. I wasn't fearful for my life. This is not a national security crisis. This is a humanitarian crisis.
Yeah, nice prop there. I wonder what flavor she brought. One of the 4 major food groups that she brought along.
Yeah, these kids are malnourished, by the way, so go bring them sugar.
Yeah, I'm sure Michelle Obama's going to love the lollipops.
Well, I mean, look, why are they coming here, right? This idea that suddenly all of these kids are coming here, it's because parents are being threatened by the cartels in these different countries to make money. They're basically getting money from the United States government. Hey, you being used and held as ransom. Send our kids back, but we're going to have to pay you to send our kids back. It's not like Mexico where we can actually bring these individuals back to that country. El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. Basically, we won't take our kids back unless you pay us to take them back.
She's acting like these kids just got back from the dentist or something like that. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't understand one thing. Why don't we put the GPS system in the lollipops? That way we can track these kids. I mean, seriously, I think that's a good idea. I really don't understand what she's thinking. If you're a Marine in the United States and you accidentally cross over to the border to Mexico. They're going to abuse you and throw you in jail. But if you illegally cross into our country, we're going to give you a lollipop.
Of course, most of these kids are little babies, so I don't know that they're going to be crawling too far. We should be taking care of these kids as best we can, but it's, we've got to stop the flow of these people coming across the border to begin with.
And lollipops do not encourage that.
No, either way you look at it, I mean, this is a crisis, and it's unbelievable that the president was there for a fundraiser, is going to be there for a fundraiser, and doesn't plan on checking out what's going on the border. You understand where Rick Perry's coming from.